the difference between an incarnation and a counterpart?
Well, a counterpart is having an incarnation.
Okay.
You understand? There are multiple ways of looking at this. So all souls, in that sense, or all aspect of an over-soul is having its individualized incarnation. Within the way that the over-soul blanket is structured, there can be pieces of the blanket that have certain weavings, lines, and colorings in it. Or as you would understand too, we could use the analogy of different rivers. And at different points, different aspects of a river will flow into each other. The oversoul has had the expression of innocence shattering itself. For all of the all that is, essentially shattered itself to have expressions, to have learnings, to bring back to the all that is. In that way, having a soul incarnation, you can be having interactions with what you would understand as a counterpart. This then being, in a sense, the other side of your soul blanket, the other side of the river, the other side of the coin. This is simplifying it just a bit, because in fact you are all multifaceted, we are all multifaceted crystals, and there are infinite sides in that sense of the over-soul. But you could understand it more simplistically by thinking of it just as the other side of the coin. Then this aspect of your oversoul has different lines, different threads, different cords, different eddies in the river that are symbolic in a sense of the opposite reflection of the parts of the soul blanket that your incarnation is having. Many times, friends and family members, more romantic relationships, children in that way will be their own incarnation of what you would understand as an oversoul counterpart. This then goes into a bit of the idea of what people are calling the twin flame. It is not that the soul has split in two, it is that the oversoul is infinite amounts of expression in that sense, and you have then now attracted yourself into a certain version of your oversoul, having an incarnation which then lines itself up as being a counterpart.
Oh, okay. So we can have many counterparts.
Yes.
Yeah. Bashar said that I had counterparts in the Grey civilization.
Yes. These are simplistically a way of saying different aspects of your oversoul that are having an experience as a Grey. And then if we wish to get really literal with it in that sense, these would be more so closely linked to different versions of you. For you understand who and what the Grey. But these counterparts would be in that way a bit more literally a version of you that took a different timeline. A few of them, we can say, then there are other ones that are more in that sense different, smaller percentages of that way of your oversoul. Mind you, this does get very technical in that sense, and there are many nuances and infinite facets in that way to look at the ultimate crystal that is the one. More and more as we go along, it will be in a sense easier for me to relay more specific images to the channel herself, for more of you to begin to fully understand this concept. For it is a bit of a whopper in that way, because the more that you truly understand this, the more that you know this, you will know that ultimately we are all one. And so there is certain levels in that way of getting a bit confusion with the language, with the symbols around how to more efficiently relay this idea to you.
Okay, I was just curious if you could answer just, if it is a counterpart, does that mean that we have a more active relationship?
Yes.
As opposed to an incarnation might not be like as active? Or
yes.
If it's actually a counterpart, we're actually doing something in this time
yes.
together, even though we may not realize it.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, let's see here.
And agreements can change, mind you. You can shift and make different agreements with different aspects of your oversoul, then they're making it a more relevant counterpart.
Okay. Could we shift oversouls a lot?
Sorry?
Can we switch oversouls?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I suppose in a way that is possible, as everything is possible, but it is in that way where you come from. Your oversoul is your oversoul.
Okay.
But, of course, there is always the ability for someone to completely shift a theme in that way. But especially at this point in time in all of our evolutions, it is not usually relevant. For there are very specific things that we are all learning in regards to what soul stream we entered in on.
Interesting. So, and I'll be in the same oversoul throughout all eternity, probably?
Yes.
Okay.
Mind you, also then that all eternity is now. So that shattering is now, and you are, as a soul piece, in a part of the piece, in a bigger part of the piece, from a bigger part of the piece, from a bigger part of the piece, but your piece is your piece.
Uh-huh.